What's up, everyone? Showdown, breakdown, Monday Night Football. We're not waiting anymore for DFS up north. His computer's exploding on us, so we're just jumping in and getting into it. Jets at the 49ers. Bobbywow with me to break it down. Monday Night Football. I'm excited for this. Hey, it's my beloved Jets team. I got a little insider knowledge of this one, Bobbywow.
I'm excited too. We're trying to complete the trifecta here with the Bears winning for me, Vikings for Josh, now the Jets for you. That's what we need.
Let's go. I mean, how nice would that be to close this thing out? Now, I got a couple things to go over. First of all, I want to congratulate not Sliders for 12th place in the Millie Maker, another DFS Army close win, but more so, I mean, Burns with the call. If you've been watching our content, Burns with the Baker Mayfield top stack of the Millie Maker call, and then it comes true. I almost Debbie Downered it.
Oh, jeez.
I was like, this has got to be one of those. Look what he wrote. Baker, Baker, Baker. He's won people millions. And this is just goat level stuff in the cheat sheet from Burns this week. Listen,
core plays for DFS up north.
It was just a great week overall. The cores, DFS up north had Baker Mayfield in the core, and I did Debbie Downer, but I also said, if I Debbie Downer something, you need to play that guy. Like, if you ever have seen this, you should know that already. Always play that guy. Like, that's why we're Debbie Downer yet. Where are the hang on, I'll go to the cores. But we nailed the cores as well. I was pretty happy. Richardson, Tyreek Hill, Rashad White, Kenny Walker, all really, really great plays. If I can't even see it here. All great plays if you played them this week. Right? And DFS up north with the Baker Mayfield course. Yep. So really good stuff. Now let's jump in to but I
can't believe you didn't even take ownership of that Debbie Downer. Come on, you said I almost did.
I gotta own it, man. I knew I was looking to do it once, but I also said, you got to know if I Debbie Downer a play, that is exactly what you should be playing that week. That's
turd hat worthy next week, I think.
Thing. All right, so we've got the Jets taking on the 49ers tonight. Fun. It's a fun showdown with fewer potential captains than we're used to, and I'm going to tell you why.
Please.
I think there's a lot of captains here we don't need to mess with. Let's jump to the domination station. Let me blow this bad boy up a little bit so you can see it. Yes, there you go. But you guys knew to play the Debbie Downer play. But and if you did, you won tournaments. I just showed sliders, but there were like 5 or 6 other screenshots like that. Yes. There are 5 or 6 other screenshots of people with big wins in the Discord with the Mayfield double stack. And, I'm not gonna slink away. I mean, and during the Players Club, we built 8 lineups. 2 of them hit the 10x multiplier. 1 of them hit the 40x multiplier. And that's really, for me, a whole other thing about playing profitably that I've been talking about this whole off season. That's how you play profitably. Make 8 lineups, hit 10x twice. That's profitable play in tournaments. So let's get to this contest here. And I want to just point out, here we have our projected ownerships for the captain position. And you can see McCaffrey, then Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall. After that, Deebo Samuel. Like, it drops quite a bit, but it's this trio that is the most highly owned, which I think is mostly correct. You've got a pretty fadeable Brock Purdy in here. I wouldn't touch him there. Brandon Ayuk, probably not going to play much. Tough matchup, or not going to play the full snap count. So we'll get into that. Aaron Rodgers, unplayable as a captain. No, if 7% of people are going to waste that, fine by me. George Kittle's really interesting. So we'll get into these matchups a little bit. Eventually, DFS up north will get his computer working, but we'll get into these matchups a little bit. So, Bobbywow, let's start with the 49ers. Okay, and I'll pull them up here.
Yep.
So, the big story is Christian McCaffrey has the Q tag.
He does.
And yeah, so with the Q tag on him, he's supposed to play. It's all good. But it's important to note that his backup is Jordan Mason. And I've already set a rule on the domination station for my own runs that I'll play some Jordan Mason, but without Christian McCaffrey. Basically, the he gets hurt rule. So if McCaffrey goes down, I don't want it to kill my Jordan Mason lineups. P.S. Yesterday on the breakdown, and on the Sunday night, and that was a VIP only, I told everybody I'm setting a rule of either Cooper Kupp or Puka Nacua, but never both in the same lineup.
That was a great call.
That was the money call last night. Because even though the Puka lineups went to shit, they didn't harm any of my Cooper Kupp lineups. And oh, by the way, I was in first place for up until the very last play of the game when it went to Montgomery. But, I was I rode out first place for a quarter and a half last night until the end and still had a very good finish. So there was, I don't know who Moody is, so I'm not going to play him as captain. Oh, the kicker, Captain Kicker.
Ooh.
I don't hate it, and it's acceptable. But
yeah.
All right, so here's what we have. Two great defenses. The Jets defense technically significantly better than the 49ers defense, but the 49ers offense is massively better than the Jets offense. Let's just understand what we're dealing with. The Jets offense is worse, but the Jets defense is better. So with that being said, the strength of the Jets defense is the secondary. Sauce Gardner is not the only elite player on that secondary. They have elite, their other corners are really good. Their safety play is excellent. So the Jets secondary is really, really good, which is why I think this is Christian McCaffrey season. There he is. There he is. He made it.
Hold on, I can't hear you.
Of course. He's cranking up the old he's the only guy I know who starts up his computer by pulling on a cord.
It looks like something that you would see someone taking to that Pawn Stars show.
Yeah.
They're selling an antique computer, one of the first ever produced.
I'm pretty confident that laptop was purchased at a pawn shop used many years ago. So where was I? Jets elite secondary. Jets elite defensive line can get to the quarterback. The 49ers are going to need to lean heavy on Christian McCaffrey in this game. And the other wild card for me is George Kittle. That's the spot where they're going to need to go to. Jets have elite linebacker play as well, but it's going to be tough to complete passes.
They can't.
Your outside wide receivers.
I don't think Kittle can. I don't think Kittle. He's gonna have to block. That's what happens in this offense all the time. I don't think they'll be able to deal with the pass rush. I don't think that Kittle's going to do anything tonight.
That's the other potential side of it, right? If the Jets are getting to the quarterback, they'll hold Kittle in to block, and then that'll negate him a little bit.
Right.
On the flip side,
okay, time out. I need to defend myself here. I'm looking at the comments. I do not use Windows 95. I have kindly, out of the kindness of my heart, let my wife use my computer lately, and clearly why would she charge it? Then it wasn't charged. So then I accidentally grabbed her old charger. So then my power wasn't working. And then not only on top of that, it had to do some sort of update. And then I had to do two-step verification to sign in. It's been a disaster.
Oh my goodness. Week 1 disasters.
Disaster.
Carmen knows where you got your computer. He is well aware of where the computer was purchased. That is, how did you know, Karma?
I have a nice
HP.
It's quality. I got it at Best Buy, I think, or I don't know, wherever you buy computers.
Circuit City at 95, maybe, Josh.
So
I have a Gateway. Do they still make those?
Back to it. So the 49ers, the offensive line is less good. The Jets have a massively improved offensive line. 49ers offensive line is just okay. Nothing special. Going to have a hard time. Going to have their hands full. The Jets are legitimately an elite defense. Again, I'm much scareder of the Jets defense than their offense right now. I don't think that Aaron Rodgers is going to be sharp after not playing for the last 5 years, not practicing a ton, not playing much in the preseason. So I don't see like a sharp Aaron Rodgers coming out, giving us vibes of 2021 or 1998 or whenever he was young and still good. Right? I don't see it.
I agree with him in terms of the captain play. I do. We might be doubting Rodgers a little bit too much here, though. We might be underselling him just because he's Aaron Rodgers at the end of the day. He might be the GOAT.
Hang on. I want to see if I can get us into the thing that I had set up for this before, but I doubt it. No.
Oh my gosh.
No. I kind of like that.
Man. This is what happens when you show up late.
All
right.
What?
Forget it. I tried.
It was a good effort.
I tried. All right.
Okay, hold on. I mean, we're talking about Rodgers a little bit here, but I said this, I think, in my notes for the Sunday night games, but are we going to, like, the quarterbacks are not being priced up like they have been previously. Are we going to start seeing more double QB because of the cheaper price on some of them? Like, this game was different. This game, they're a little bit more, but like, what's it without captain? 9,000?
Yeah, I think, $9K, 9,200 for Rodgers and Purdy, which I think is appropriate. And I'm glad that DraftKings is pricing some of these quarterbacks down a little bit. It's making it more appropriate. I'm going to tell you right now, though, like I said, I'm getting into this. Aaron Rodgers, I'm not touching him as a captain.
Agreed.
No interest.
Yep.
And I'm not super excited about the flex either. He can get it done.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. So Aaron Rodgers, to me, I'm already eliminating the captaincy here. I don't really think Brock Purdy is a good captain. I think this is Christian McCaffrey, maybe Deebo Samuel smashing one in via the run.
Do we think CMC's fully healthy?
I'm not a doctor. You know what? If he's out there playing, I'm assuming he's healthy. I
mean, there's been coaches talking about pitch count and
here's the cautionary tale for me. Number one, Ayuk. Ayuk is fully healthy. Okay, let's just be clear about that. He's healthy. Shanahan said he would be surprised if he played a full snap count.
Right.
He could still play a full snap count. Okay, let's not go too crazy on Ayuk. I think it's very, very possible that Ayuk could see 90% of the snaps that he would typically see, 95. Because Shanahan's weird. Or, he could see 50. To me, I find it hard to believe that Shanahan would really punish the team by holding him out.
Sure.
I don't think he's holding him out. He just might not be fully ready to take all the snaps.
He's a professional. He's an NFL player. He's been on this team forever. Like that's one thing that's in my head. I'm just cautionary tale. Number two,
point out, Binking, you're correct, but this was very much a result of having such a good secondary that teams were forced to run on the Jets. And this is where I keep going with this. The Jets have actually great linebackers and D linemen, but they are designed to get to the passer. They're not necessarily like stout run blockers. They're not bad at it. But if you're going to attack the Jets, you want to do it via the run, and especially throwing to the running backs. Is Ayuk getting the sauce? Yes. That is going to be who's on Ayuk. So forget about the fact if he's healthy or not. They're not throwing to him because Sauce is covering him, and you don't want to. That's not something to mess with too hard. So, yeah, could it get it done? Sure. But there's a lot of factors saying probably not, right? So who are the studs in this game? To me, number one, the 49ers, they don't have an answer for Garrett Wilson. Now, that doesn't mean we've never seen Garrett Wilson play with Aaron Rodgers. We don't know. Is he going to focus? Maybe Alan Lazard comes in and Rodgers got that familiarity. I know that face, but like, I know, but it could happen.
Like, if you're the Jets, and I said this in my notes, why are you wasting, why aren't you playing Malachi Corley? Why aren't you playing?
Exactly.
No, because they're here to win. They're not like trying to see what they have.
Alan Lazard is garbage. Like, he's there because he's friends with Aaron Rodgers.
They picked him up. Rodgers likes him. They want the Jets have made it clear that if Rodgers says, I want my guy in the game, they're putting his guy in the game. They made it clear. They're going to do that. Jets, let's go. They're going to do that. So I really think Lazard is going to be in this game, and he's going to be a factor. Mike Williams is the one who's coming off an injury, did not practice pretty much all of training camp, and just like started practicing this or last week. So I don't really trust Mike Williams to get a ton of looks. And I think you're going to see Lazard in there and maybe a third guy like a Gibson on the field for the Jets. And I could see the Jets tight end, Tyler Conklin, Tico, as we call him in New York, Tico, out there getting serious reps at the position.
Sure. I can see that. Yeah, I like Tyler Conklin. I like both of the tight ends.
I keep clicking on Tyler. I mean, George Kittle obviously expensive. I do keep clicking on Tyler. So we'll get into like the sheets. But DFS of North, take us through your captain plays here. Obviously we have them on screen for the most part, but which ones are you on here?
Yeah, so like obviously like CMC, I'm not in love with Wilson. I like CMC, obviously. I think that Breece Hall is a great play just because of the passing game upside. I really like Deebo Samuel at his price tag. He's been the only sort of consistent person there at camp, right? Like that catches passes outside of maybe like a Jawan Jennings. So, yeah, I like him. Like I said, I'm not in love with Kittle just because of I think he's going to have to block. And Purdy and Rodgers are low end captain plays that could get there if they're in the right scenario. But for me, if I was going to pick, 2-3, it's Deebo, Breece Hall, and Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. One of the things I like about Deebo is as a player, he's not a traditional wide receiver. Having Sauce Gardner out there, he's not going to see Deebo. Deebo lines up in the backfield. Like where he's standing is not where a traditional cornerback is going to be on him. So especially when the 49ers are healthy, they're lining up Deebo in all crazy play. He's like lining up a running back doing outs. You can't put Sauce or traditional defensive backs on him. So I think Deebo is the player that negates the elite pass defense of the New York Jets, right? That's the guy. It's not Ayuk. He's a traditional wide receiver. Could he catch a pass, score a touchdown? Yes, he could. Could he be the highest scorer on the slate just because shit happens in football games? Of course. But like when you analyze the matchup, that's, it's Deebo is the one that is interesting on the side. Deebo and McCaffrey on the 49ers side. For the Jets side, of course, Breece Hall is a beast. And the 49ers were #not that good against running backs last year as well. It's not like they had some defense that could slow down Breece Hall. Breece Lightning, what's up? So it's Hall. Garrett Wilson is a stud. If
Wilson's got the upside, right? Like I worry about it sometimes, especially like we didn't see it like last year with Rodgers, right? So like Rodgers is very much a connection type of quarterback. I know that that's not something that we can quantify, but it just feels like, and then you see, I don't know, maybe I'm being influenced by the bitching at each other on the sidelines, and you know what I mean? But I don't know. I think that, yeah, like you said, like it could be Lazard.
Agree or disagree?
Is a good one too. I might go.
Deebo Samuel is the safest play on the 49ers.
100%.
Yeah, and right here, Tan Guy. Yeah, listen, the sheet can say what it wants to say, but I've watched the 49ers play, and they simply don't put Deebo. They don't line him up like a normal wide receiver. Most of the time, he's in a weird spot. He's playing fullback. You're like, where's Deebo? And he's in the backfield playing running back. Like, what's he doing back there? You got Christian McCaffrey lined up on the outside as a wide receiver. Deebo in the back. They do weird shit with him. They're gonna get him open. They're gonna design plays to get him open. So I'm not worried about that, and I do expect Sauce to be on Ayuk in this game. So continuing on here, you've got Ayuk and Kittle.
Yeah, I mean, they could get there, right? Like,
absolutely.
We've seen Kittle do it.
Kittle could get
their 1 and 2 star plays, but I fully agree.
I mean, much better flex plays, but yeah, in the captain, it's not something that I'm necessarily targeting.
Let's talk about. I think the defenses and kickers are really relevant in this game. This game might end up being one of those Monday night stinkers where defenses play really well. Aaron, here's how I envision it going. And by the way, take this with as much of a grain of salt as you could ever take anything. I just have a thing in my head, and here's how I see it going down. Jets defense playing really well, kind of slowing down the 49ers offense. But the Jets offense playing poorly and not able to finish drives. The team is not comfortable. The quarterback and the team have not played together a ton. So there's no familiarity here. And I think that leads to, mistakes here or there. And it just leads to field goals. The hardest part of the field is get in the red zone, get into the end zone. So the Jets kind of get there, but they can't get in. And it just becomes a field goal fest on both sides. So I'm going over the field on these kickers just for that reason. I could see just field goals happening a lot. Both defenses are very much in play for me.
Yeah, great. And that's way too cheap.
Yeah, they're cheap, and we haven't not that it's that three.
I mean, yesterday actually defenses went bananas.
Right, we haven't seen it,
but not on the showdown.
Not in the showdown, right? So potentially the ownership's going to be a little bit lower.
Yeah. I like what I'm hearing here. Like this, I'm not, like I said, grain of salt, but I'd probably be on the underside of this game.
It's 43. That's pretty low, but
it's pretty low. But hey, it's 43 for a reason, right, guys?
Exactly.
And to understand this even further, for a 49ers game, a team that averaged 30 plus points per game in 2023, to be at 43,
right?
They're telling you something there too. They're telling you don't expect as much offense and touchdown scoring as you might normally see from the 49ers.
Right. And maybe one more thing. I mean, we were just talking about Vegas, but I am concerned about CMC, right? But Vegas isn't. Like, the line is 73, 30 passing yard or receiving yards. Like, if I always say Vegas knows more than I do, right? Like, so if they were concerned that he was going to be limited tonight, don't you think that number would be far less than 70 plus rushing yards?
Absolutely. And how often have we seen McCaffrey limited and then come out and play a full snap count? I remember last season, it might have been more of an important game, but McCaffrey was like maybe not going to play, and then he played every single snap. So I would be surprised if he was significantly limited in any way.
Yeah,
I think Vegas is right.
Yeah, I agree as well. By the way, I think on paper, throw the Q tag away, guys. We're not doctors here. If he's hurt and he's limited, that'll come out in the game. I'm much more concerned if I'm a McCaffrey all-inner. I'm much more concerned that he gets hurt in game, right? Like, all of a sudden he goes out there, he's got a little tweak of the hammy or whatever his issue is, and then it gets worse during the game and he limps off. And then you're like, oh shit, right? Because you load it up. So just make sure to have Jordan Mason as your hedge play. This is not a time not to hedge Jordan Mason. You should have that hedge going. And I will make sure my Jordan Mason lineups are not with Christian McCaffrey, because then it doesn't work as a hedge. Then it's just a turd in your lineup as opposed to the hedge that you want it to function as. So we could play lots of kickers and defenses. I think that's going to open up a lot of the salary, guys. But DFS Up North, take me through the turd zone, because I do think with Ayuk limited, that and with the Jets sort of sketchiness at WR2, 3, and 4, that there might be some viable kind of turds here.
Yeah, it's tricky too, right? Like, it's the first week, so we don't really know what it's gonna look like. But there's guys like Jacob Cowing, who they liked in camp, the 49ers. The Jets have a variety of turds to play with. Alan Lazard, Malachi Corley, Xavier Gibson. You do get Gibson on, you can get that double dip on kick returns and punt returns as well with the defense. He ran one back last year when they won that game. But yeah, I think he's going to get some snaps here. There's just not a lot to like. There's not a lot in the sense that, hey, this guy's going to get a ton of run here, right?
I think Lazard is the best of them.
Yeah, I wish they would have priced him up a little bit more. How the heck is he 2K?
I mean,
because he stinks. I think I really do believe he stinks. But Aaron Rodgers, Randall Cobb found a way to contribute when Aaron Rodgers was quarterback. At the end of the day,
I love Juwan Jennings in this game, and their projections are the same.
Yeah, and Juwan is double the price. This is this is where you this is where you are going to make your money. I think it's a very all right. I'll just it's not a hard lineup to build. When you're starting it out, you're kind of going through these names up top over here. Fine. You're going to get 2 of this, maybe a third stud. You can even go all 3 of these studs, right?
Yeah, you
From
can
here,
make
it's just
work.
not that hard of a lineup. You're going to pick one of these turdly guys and put in Lazard, and now I could just kicker and another player.
Jets defense. Look at Jets defense. They're 3,200. It's crazy.
Jets defense, way too cheap. It gets you George Kittle or Mike Williams. You can go a kicker. And I told you before, I think the kickers are going to feast in this one, potentially. You get Moody in there or the Jets guy, and even close it out with a 49ers defense. Don't be scared of 49ers defense either. Nope. Like I said, I fully expect Aaron Rodgers to be rusty.
He's going to throw some picks, and he's going to take some sacks.
Look at what were we all here watching Kirk Cousins look terrible?
Gladly. I was gladly watching that.
Okay, you.
Shame on you for rooting
my kid, but my 7-year-old said, "How do you like it now, Kirk?"
Oh man, you like that? You know who liked that? Michael Penix.
Oh yeah. I mean, Achilles is hard to come back from.
I think Bobby was laughing at my pronunciation of Michael.
Yeah, let's also not downplay the 49ers defensive line. They've got Leonard Floyd now, and he hates Aaron Rodgers. He hates him. Leonard Floyd is going to get after A-Rod. I'm pretty sure he injured him when he was on the Bears. So they're coming. Floyd and Bosa are coming. Hargrave. I mean, it's a good defense.
Yeah, no, Rodgers gets sacked. He can get hurt in this game. This is also the Jets week 1, the most cursed week of the year. Last year, the Achilles. I don't really predict the same thing's going to happen here, but I do think we might see a Kirk Cousins-like ineptitude coming from the arm of Aaron Rodgers in this game.
No way.
It could be. It could happen.
It could.
It could happen. I think if the Jets are doing well, it's because of Breece Hall and their defense. And I think if the 49ers are doing well, it's because of Debo, McCaffrey, and their defense. So and Purdy's still good too, but so fuck the bettors. The bettors like the Jets +4. I have very little trust in it.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
Dude, if this happens, I will be the happiest guy. I faded Aaron Rodgers. I don't have any exposure.
My Jets win.
I will be so happy that I won't even. I'll hand all my money over to everybody else.
Great to hedge at the sports book on that one, honestly.
Yeah,
he's way below that in Vegas. I don't think he's going to put up gaudy numbers, but I do think he's going to be efficient. He's going to be Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. He's going to dink and dunk, and he's going to find a way.
And I do want to point out: do not be scared to play any kind of a defense against your captain. All good. Jets defense.
The Jets are $2,000 cheaper than the 49ers, you guys. It's crazy.
Yeah, got to play Jets.
49ers are not a team that gave up many points to opposing defenses last year. They were extremely efficient.
The Jets give up a ton of points, but they just fantasy score so well too that you know what I mean?
But yeah, just keep in mind, the 49ers were not a team that you ever wanted to target a defense against. They're so creative. Listen, Shanahan with his Shanahanigans is very good at designing offenses to counter the opposing defense. Like I said, I think this is Debo. That's what he does with Debo quite a bit. Maybe Juwan Jennings, by the way, on that 49ers team is the guy who's not going to catch Sauce in coverage, or Michael Carter as the other. Man, I can't remember the other defensive back's name. Michael Carter.
Michael Carter was a running back, wasn't he?
No, he's also a defensive back. There's 2 Michael Carters. Yeah.
Carter Williams is a Bulls failed draft pick.
Yeah, there's 2 of them. So, and the Jets have an elite secondary. Like I said, they have really, really good players in the safeties as well. And, I'm not going to remember their names. Soliver, Shanahan. I mean, we all know who we'd rather have. So there's that as well.
Ronnie Bell's maybe the sneaky San Francisco 49er wide receiver, by the way.
Yeah. Let's take a quick look. I mean, is there anything more we want to cover on the DraftKings side? And turds.
The only other guy that we didn't maybe talk about was Braylon Allen. I think that he's the backup, right, for Breece Hall. He'll get some run. And we don't predict injuries. That's not something that we do. But if you're building multiple lineups, things happen, right? We see it all the time.
Yeah.
Let me ask you one question quick before we move on. True or false? One of Lazard, Corley, or Gibson will be in the winning DraftKings lineup.
True.
Geek?
Man, that is asking a lot. I do think so. I could see it.
Is that where the value is coming from? I guess is where I'm trying to get at.
No, I think.
Like, do we have to play a guy like Braylon Allen when we know
No,
Lazard is going to be on the field?
No.
I think we might not see any of the Jets pass catchers in the winning lineup.
Yeah.
I'm just comparing value right now.
I'd rather have Lazard over all of those guys or Gibson.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So
I don't trust Corley to get in the game at all. Like I'm not convinced he'll get any
draft pick. They're gonna throw him out there, aren't they?
No, that's not how. That is not. This is a team that wants to win. They're not like gonna see what we have with our young guys. They have an old quarterback, a crazy good defense, and their only desire is to win and make the playoffs and keep their jobs. And so that no, they don't want to see what they have with the young guy. Absolutely not. I don't see him getting in the game.
Here's why: because Mike Williams is limited.
Yeah, but that's what gets Gibson and Lazard in there. I don't think there's room really for Malachi, as I like to call him.
Fair enough.
Malachi and all right.
He doesn't have a line as far as I can tell.
Yeah, does he even have a prop?
Sign.
Not a great sign. I don't have a prop on him.
Yeah, no, I don't think he gets in the game, guys. It's he also did not shine in the preseason. There was nothing about him that like stood out. And I'm in New York. I haven't heard any buzz. Not going to say definitely I know anything, but I haven't heard any buzz about Malachi as of yet.
Cool.
Yes, leaving some salary on the table might be acceptable, especially if defenses and kickers are as heavily relevant as I think they might be. Let's jump over to Fanduel and let me clear this as I have made my first lineup already. Oops, spoiler alert. I played two kickers together. So DFS Up North, take me through your Fanduel approach to this game.
So, I mean, it's honestly, it's fairly similar, right? Like we're going Breece Hall, we're going Christian McCaffrey. We're probably not getting a pass catcher in the top spot. Rodgers, Purdy, Debo probably is like the one pass catcher that I'd be maybe interested in. I'm not at this point willing to go defense there, just because even at 43, I think, if somebody scores 21, there's no chance, right? I think it could potentially get there. But yeah, it's I feel wrong if I agree with that statement. I have a hard time not just scrolling up to the top of what I have left.
Force yourself. You have to force yourself.
That's why the DS is so nice, because you don't necessarily have to have that choice in your head.
Looking at the Fanduel captains or MVPs.
MVP, correct.
I'm going to say this again, guys. I think I'm going to eliminate Aaron Rodgers from it.
No way. Not
for my game. I'm allowed for me.
I'm allowed.
I'm not doing it. I'm eliminating him. If the Jets are winning, it's because Breece Hall is smashing. Or their kicker kicked 5 field goals. I'm telling you, you got to just play Christian McCaffrey. I think Christian McCaffrey is so much better than every other option here that you can almost run. Could you run 150 with just...
No, you can't.
Don't even bother, because you're just going to tie with everyone.
Breece is right up there too.
Yeah.
I think those are the top 2 plays on FanDuel.
Yeah, I would agree.
And I think Debo is legit. And if you wanted to get, if I needed to get weird with it, it's probably either Kittle or a kicker.
I think there's a scenario where Brock Purdy gets there.
Brock on FanDuel. I think he's less likely to. Jets, that secondary is really good. But yeah, I mean, I feel like it would be the defense of the 49ers. I don't think Brock is going to come out and throw for 25 plus.
238. He's 238 on props, which is low, but it's more than Rodgers.
What's Rodgers' prop?
227 or 230, I think.
I mean, those are both really low numbers.
They're low numbers,
They're
but
low.
like 230 and 2 touchdowns, and they win the game 21-17.
Yeah, that's the other thing is low scoring game. You know,
That's quarterback, right? Like that's quarterback.
That's like a 16-pointer for the QB though.
It is, but like who else is? I mean, unless even a receiver is probably not outscoring that in that sort of game.
Yeah, it could be like they get there if it's a defensive matchup. Yeah. No one does a lot, and you know it's Fanduel, and he throws touchdowns to two different guys. No one scores more than 15 points.
You know, scores a tutty.
That's the version of the way it goes where that happens. I don't, you know, Brock Purdy doesn't really run the football. Aaron Rodgers is super unlikely to run the football at all. These guys aren't putting up. I think we're due. Like Aaron Rodgers doesn't get you more than 16, 17 fantasy points in this game. Watch him put up 30. Not happening. And then Brock Purdy probably doesn't do much more than 17 or 18 as well. So I just think one of these running backs is going to do more than that. Or a Kittle, like a tight end.
Yeah.
A quick look at FanDuel salaries. Do we need to venture to the turd zone?
You not really this week, I don't think.
Let's try putting a lineup together. I don't think you do.
Like you could play Showdown Killer Kyle Juszczyk. You could play. I mean, T-Con's probably he's 8,000.
AK, that's not even a turd, right? Like Tyler Conklin's a good play. He's just straight up a good.
Yeah,
it's fine. From there, I think. By the way, let's not sleep on Juwan Jennings either. I want to mention the name again, because he's going to be out there the whole time. And when you have a team with two very good corners, as the Jets have, sometimes the third wide receiver on the opposing team is the one that benefits. So you could see like them just having to target Juwan just because the other guys are covered. I really like just loading up on these kickers and defenses, though, in these lineups, like getting weirdly. And somebody mentioned it before. I don't feel that you need to limit double kicker or double defense here.
Nope. Agreed.
Bobbywow, remember when we did the back testing game? Like, oh, okay, this is finally where we could bust it out. So one last little note before we move. This came from me and Bobby's
nugget
back testing, right? What setting on the sim boost worked in these defensive games?
We had running back paired with the defense.
Yes.
And then we saw more often than not as well was kicker with the position. Defense
and running back all correlated to one another. So let's do.
I just built that lineup.
A kicker, watch. Kicker, running back. So if defense is in the lineup, increase projection for kicker and running back, same team.
15%.
15%. Sim boost, guys.
Yeah, sim it.
I'll show everybody the only other setting that I have on the optimizer for this one so far. I'll do some sort of a boost with the quarterbacks as well. Oh yeah, I've got a couple of like if Purdy's captain, no less than 2.
Yeah,
I didn't bother with an Aaron Rodgers captain because I'm not doing it. So it's not.
But if you're saying if he's in the flex, he's got to have a pass catcher.
Yeah, if he's in the flex, definitely 1.
I would even put Breece Hall in there. I would put a running back as well because Breece he's got some of the best receiving props.
That's true
on the board.
Yeah, actually, you're right. Yeah, you could almost include. But I feel like if Aaron Rodgers is getting it done, he'd have to throw it to someone other than Breece Hall to like.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, at a minimum that because Breece.
And I totally because
anyway.
Brock was a +2. That's why I included McCaffrey in there, and then between 0 and 1 of McCaffrey and Mason. So I'm not allowing double both of those running backs in the same lineup. For me, I want Mason as my McCaffrey gets hurt insurance, not as my turd that also does well. Although he could do that, and that could be the way it goes down. That's just not how I want to personally play it.
Agreed.
Right.
So that's just like
they'll line Debo up at halfback too.
Yes, they will.
So it's not like if McCaffrey's limited a little bit. It's not like all the snaps are going to go right to Mason either.
That's right. Yeah, it'll be Debo in there getting more carry. Actually, Debo would smash. Yeah. And Binkin's got it. My guy that I want to go personally, like, all right, so let's go turd of the slate, guys. And I'm going to have mine. Mine is Lazard. I think Lazard is that guy at 1K that's going to be on the field and could be the slate breaker.
He's been a touchdown guy in the past as well.
Yeah.
Red zone target. I think he is as cheap as I'm going on FanDuel. He's $7K. That's probably where I'm going for my value on FanDuel.
Okay.
I don't even hate taking some shots at captain on DraftKings. If you're trying to take down $1 million tournament, he's a guy I would take a couple darts at, throw a couple darts at on DK.
Wait.
Talks, I listen.
Debo?
Lazard.
Lazard is as a DraftKings, yes.
Yes.
Up north.
Yeah.
Your turd of the slate, Josh.
Can I say Jennings, or is that not like?
Can I say your laptop?
That was the turd of the slate today. That was the turd of the slate today. It's fixed now. It's running. I feel good about it. No, I'm gonna say Braylon Allen scores a touchdown.
Oh my! You really dug deep.
Yeah. I'm gonna say Breece Hall. I'm gonna say Breece Hall catches a pass, goes 60 yards. They're at like the 9, and he has to come out because he's tired, and they get Braylon Allen a touchdown.
Oh my goodness! I totally not the FBI busting out with Chris Conley. Like that dude is on the 49ers.
Yeah, yes, he is. And I was like literally doing my notes, and I'm like, man, remember when he was like a legitimate option? Like,
no, that was never a thing.
Chiefs, like,
no, he was on the Jaguars, and he was never a legitimate option. He was the WR2 that never caught a pass.
One other guy worth some shots if you're trying to take down a tournament on DraftKings is Tyler Conklin.
Yeah,
he's not getting enough love.
He's good on both sides,
but probably not worth a captaincy. But you think Conklin is a captain?
I think you could. Again, I'm talking a dart throw or two. If you're running out 150 lineups, throw some darts at Conk, throw some darts at Lazard as captain. Then you could play McCaffrey, Breece, Debo, and Garrett Wilson.
You know who else I didn't think was a viable captain? Isaiah Likely.
Look how that turned out.
Yeah. Look how that turned out.
And exactly, Steve.
But Conklin is no Likely. He's
no.
He's very much.
He's a good pass catcher. He's
very much a goon. Yeah. He's a goon, guys. He's just a goon. Yeah, he's a goon. You know,
I tell you what, he's no Johnny Munt, as Kevin would say.
He's less of a goon than Johnny Munt. If you ever see Debbie Downer come out, Karma, you better play that player. Like that has been so consistent. Like last year, I would shit on Burns's crazy call, and then they would win $1 million. That'd be the Million Maker winner. It happened again this week 1. I actually consider that a successful Debbie Downer.
Yes, he did. He did. I
didn't watch. Yeah. I don't have 4 hours. But
you know what? What else are you doing? You don't have the 4 hours? Like what the hell?
Well, he's booting up his computer back up.
It takes me that long to get my computer going.
Look, I think one other sillier play, just to mention it, is the Jets defense. They are cheaper than the kickers. They're cheaper than Conklin. They're cheaper. I think the Jets defense could get it done as well. So
I just took a bunch of Jets on FanDuel too, and because I feel like defense doesn't get enough love on FanDuel sometimes because they're priced
all
up.
Playable. Schwami came in and busted out with Jeremy Rookert, the TE2 for the Jets.
Eric Saubert for the 49ers. He's going to block some tonight.
Ronnie Bell, actually, this is another name.
Yep.
You know what? I'm glad Skull mentioned this name. That is another turd name that could have some significance, like the backup wide receivers for the 49ers. These are the guys that are not going to be covered by the best, by the elite like players on the Jets. They're getting like the fourth guy. And Ronnie Bell, he did pop for me when I first looked at it. It was like,
And like Ronnie Bell or Xavier Gibson, they're both kick returners. If they put the ball on the ground or like if they kick it to these guys, like they are live to run one back. Like we saw it multiple times this weekend.
Could happen. How about the Bears come back, Bobbywow?
DJ Dallas, our boy Kevontae Turpin.
I just think discuss the Giants uniforms from Sunday. Did anybody else see that? I couldn't even watch the game.
My wife said, she's like, it looks like they're naked.
It was the most bizarre thing. If they use that all season, I am done.
They're not using it all season, are they?
The Nike pants for MLB this season.
It was crazy.
I'm just gonna say,
I kind of like the jerseys. They look like hockey jerseys.
It did look like hockey. That was a good reminder. Bobby, what were you gonna say?
It's just hard for me to get super turdly here because we have so much legitimate value.
Yep.
We know Lazard is gonna be on the field. And he's cheap. We know the Jets defense is a solid play. They are very cheap. Conklin's cheap. I mean, it's just tough for me to get a little like the difference between a guy like Lazard and Juszczyk ceiling. I mean, Juszczyk, when he's a turd, he could put up 8 or 9 points.
Max.
Like that's his ceiling.
Lazard and Gibson are the plays, guys. This is not too difficult. When you're going down there,
don't overthink it with the turds on this.
Yeah, when you're going down, you could a little Ronnie Bell, fine, but also keep in mind that the 49ers are not some team where you find players just popping up out of nowhere, having big games. This isn't the Chiefs. This isn't like the Ravens. The names come out of nowhere. The 49ers have been running this offense for years.
Right.
It's a triangle offense like the Bulls of old. There's like 3 guys, and that's the only people who touch the ball. You never see Brock Purdy run it. Like there's nothing new. You remember the triangle? Bobbywow?
Yes.
What's his name? Phil
Jackson.
Phil Jackson and the Listen, sit. It's like McCaffrey, Ayuk, Debo, sometimes Kittle, right? They don't have extra people that usually get worked in or in the game plan. Yeah, they might throw one to Jawan every once in a while, but it's really focused on their core guys. And I like offenses like that. The Jets are a little more mysterious right now just because we haven't seen the team play yet. We're not really sure what the deal is with Mike Williams. We didn't even talk about Mike Williams because I don't know. Like, how much is he going to play? It's coming off the injury.
Another guy, though.
Preseason.
He gets some targets in the end
zone. You want
zone.
to hear something crazy, though? And we'll wrap it up there. But I actually think Mike Williams is like a great wide receiver fit for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Like the fit. He is a Devontae Adams-esque,
he's a throw it up
back shoulder throw guy.
He's another guy, captain guy that you can throw some darts at. Again,
he's
take down a tournament.
He's low end viable. Like he could do it.
Back shoulder throw guy. Can you not see Mike Williams in this game just like boop, touchdown? You're like, holy shit, Mike Williams just scored a 40-yard touchdown. Jets are in. Yeah, like that could happen too. So let's account a little bit for that. Good luck tonight, everybody. We've got this is the game I've been waiting for like for the last 24 months. So
do you think the Jets pull it off, Geek? Do you think they cover at least?
I think they should cover, yes. But do I think they will cover? No.
Hard to say.
Did I bet it? I think if you're betting this game, you should bet the Jets. But you could also look really, really stupid at halftime and be like, what did I do? Like, so it's gonna. I do think the correct side is the Jet side. But everybody said that
Purdy sees ghosts tonight.
What's that?
Maybe.
I think Purdy sees ghosts tonight.
Maybe Purdy sees ghosts.
Broke the curse, and the spirits are going to come haunt Brock Purdy now.
Ty S is saying, don't even take the 4 points. Just take the money line and be right. I liked the Cowboys yesterday, and I bet the Cowboys, but I was like worried to give it out because all the smart people were all over the Browns, and I was like, man, I don't get it. What are you guys seeing? Like,
John Watson's terrible.
Yeah, I didn't get that, but that's what it was. The sharps were on the Browns. So I was like, all right, I don't know. But I kind of feel that way about this. People think the 49ers are a little in disarray. Ayuk didn't come back, the Q-Tech, and they're like, what's going on with this team right now? But in the end of the day, this is the 49ers, effectively the best team in the NFC the last few years.
Yep. And
the Super Bowl. Now, do they have a Super Bowl hangover? There's a whole, study on this stuff. So that team should probably lose. Like all the betting data says the Jets should do well in this game.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
So
let's wrap it up there. Guys, if you're watching this, I appreciate a like, a subscribe. Something like 70% of the people who are watching these videos are not even subscribed to the DFS Army YouTube channel. Forget about subscribe to DFS Army. Get on the YouTube channel subscription. It's literally free.
Free stuff, baby.
And you get notified when we go live on these. So make sure to smash that button. Another little announcement for DFS Army subscribers. I've decided, Burns and I did a Shark Lab video this past week. And, we recorded it and put it out there. It was really weird with the timing with all the showdowns. I've decided to make that a live stream exclusively for DFS Army subscribers. We can get the full Shark Lab take on things. So look out for that. It's probably,
I'll actually watch that one.
You will watch that live? Okay. Jump in live with us. And you'll see that in the DFS Army Discord as well. We'll be back.
If the Hewlett Packard loads up in time, I'll be able to watch it.
It's like a lawnmower engine. It was the computer.
Speaking of subscribers getting notifications, I was so frustrated, like it wasn't working, and then my phone buzzed, and I'm like, YouTube DFS Army is live.
Yeah, you're like shit. So yeah, we have so much going on in DFS Army this week, and of course we've got a showdown breakdown. We'll be back here on Wednesday. My first look, I've already looked at NFL Week 2. I'm so excited for it. I'm popping everywhere, all the knowledge. We'll break that down. You'll see that here on the channel tomorrow and Wednesday for the showdown breakdown for the Thursday night football game, and everybody's favorite Tournament Tactics Fridays at 5. So make sure to check that out right here on this channel. Sign up at DFS Army, promo code Geek, 10% off. We'll see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.